we go. So, shalom, everybody who will be watching this later. It's your brother. Well, not well, I am brother, brother Ori or Aki Ori, if you want to say it in the brew. As you see, today's lesson is the reassertion of Torah. So, where we're picking up that back in Exodus of was it the previous chapters were 17 and 18. We're in 19 now. So the children of Yasharel is in the wilderness, and Moshe, he's about to reassert the Torah to our people. Oh, all right. The borders of Mount Sinai. What command was given on who could climb Mount Sinai? It's a simple answer. Nobody has an idea. It's really only like 2 people.
Was
Well,
only Moshe?
Correct. Moshe and his brother. Moshe and Aaron. Who wants to get 1 through 13 of chapter 19?
1 through 13. Let me go ahead and get you. Oh, you got it? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, while Mika is asleep. Shemot Exodus 19. I'm reading out of the Sefer. In the 3rd month, when the children of Yasharel were gone forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. For they were departed from Rephidim.
Yep.
And were come to the desert of Sinai and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Yasharel camped before the mount. And Moshe went up unto Elohim, and Yahuwah called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shall you say to the house of Yaakov, and tell the children of Yasharel, Ye have seen that I did unto the Mitzrayim, and how I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you out unto myself. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and guard my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. There are the words which you shall speak unto the children of Yasharel. Verse 7, and Moshe came and called for the elders of the people and laid before their faces all these words which Yahuwah commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, All that Yahuwah has spoken, we will do. And Moshe returned the words of the people unto Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, Lo, I come unto you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with you and believe you forever. And Moshe told the words of the people unto Yahuwah. Verse 10, and Yahuwah said unto Moshe, Go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the 3rd day. For the 3rd day Yahuwah will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. And you shall set bounds unto the people round about, saying, Take heed to yourself, that ye go not up into the mount, or touch the border of it. Whosoever touches the mount shall be surely put to death. There shall not a hand touch it, but ye surely be stoned, or shot through. Whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the shofar sounds long, then shall come up to the mount.
There we go. So Oh, I guess I missed. Maybe I put a little late, but we'll see. That really is the only people that can access. And the next question is Moses, Moshe, and Aaron. Let's see. What took place on Mount Sinai when Yahuwah came down on it? You know, it was a great ordeal that happened. Anybody can shout anything out. Something you don't see often.
Is it the lightning?
Yeah, it was a great storm. Thunder, lightning, smoke upon the mountain, and so I would guess that probably smoke upon the mountain means that probably lava fissures probably opened up too as well. Some tectonic plate movement or whatever. So it was just like a great ordeal. You probably go to Mount Sinai when Yahuwah was upon it, and it looked like something from an ancient prehistoric thing where you're thinking like, wow, is Sinai turning into a volcano simultaneously while having thunder and lightning rumble above it? Once
Yeah,
you get
that third day is something crucial too, bro.
Get it
Because
though?
the the re- the resurrection of the Mashiach, bro. Like these third days need to be paid attention to.
yeah,
Third day, and when the people answered and said, what did they say? I forgot what verse. And all the people answered and said verse 8 and said, all that you said we will do. Kind of reminds me when people when our people said, go ahead, we still go ahead and still crucify him because we'll take his blood and put it on our children's children. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing some correlations there too.
yeah, big dummies. Yeah,
And another one, and not to get too far off point, who was that verse? Who was talking about? I think it was right above 8 when he was talking about love of the people. What did he call us? He said, "Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my commandments, then you shall be a special treasure to me above all people, for all the earth is mine."
Yep.
So
It's after.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. We've been, we all about that Deuteronomy 7.
right,
yeah,
Or at 7:6, which is fine. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Nobody's saying that, but there is an aspect of being Jacob and it being Israel.
right.
yeah,
And to the brothers out there, there is a who are saying this, saying respectfully in the camps, there is a hierarchy. You know, the Most High is saying it himself, and unless you believe that he's a liar, which he is not, you know what I'm saying? Um, and he called us. The thing that stood out is he said, a special treasure to him. You know what I'm saying? Anybody knows anything about a treasure, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing but valuables in it. And so when he actually talks about us as his people, he talks about us as fine jewelry, these fine stones. So and I'm just seeing that there, like, so the replacement theology doesn't really work with that verse right there.
Nah, it still
Saying,
don't work.
now,
Nah,
it
because
doesn't
we,
work
we
at all,
still we
but
still got Deuteronomy say you can't get away from who is still the people of this book, but the aspect of like you just not brought out treasure. Most of the time, treasure, what you got to do to get treasure?
yeah,
you gotta
Hunt.
hide it away.
You have to look for it.
Yep.
There you go.
yep.
So you've been talking about, been talking about 2/3 earlier. I was listening to the whole podcast. Don't get it twisted before we got going. Absolutely, that was a good one.
You said the 2/3.
Yeah, that's what
But
Ori was talking about earlier.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
there's
You
not
know what
gonna
I'm
make it.
saying?
We would like ideally we would love everyone in Yashra to make it, but
Of course, that's
we
my
know,
desire. That's my
yeah,
desire too. I got the
Right.
same
yeah,
desire the most I got.
Yep.
yeah.
You
We
desire
know
none of
that.
y'all should
Yeah,
perish.
But unfortunately, bro, the way our people are have
if they,
been,
yeah, they gotta learn the hard way.
we'll just call it what it is. Stupid. That's
Yeah,
that's like it's certain. It's amazing because we are, when it says we are a peculiar people, we are very peculiar, bro. Because when these Gentiles had a chance to even touch these scriptures, they going all in. You know what I'm saying? The Muslims, when they start learning a little bit more about the Torah and this and that, they willing to die for the Most High, right? But then his chosen, yeah, I kind of believe, I kind of don't. Yeah, I'm kind of doing this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
come on, bro. Like, yeah, y'all he didn't do anything. Like, he chose the most hard-headed people. Seriously.
Yeah, because you like what? Like you said, Ishmael, they praying to a rock 5 times a day, bro. And like and on time. Like they are not late. Like when that bell rings or whenever their alarm go off to pray to that rock, they are on their knees, bro. You think they doing the luge or something. But like Yasharal, like, hey, look, this is actually you. This is, this is what you standing here. Man, bro, like, I just believe that, God take care of everybody as long as you do good right by people. Yeah, hey, cool.
That's a good one.
And how many times do they do it a day?
They do it 5, like the Muslims. They pray 5 times a day
Yeah.
to the rock.
Yeah,
And what was
you
it?
see that a lot in Iraq. Like they, like right where they standing, they have their prayer rug wherever they at. They're gonna pull out their prayer rug and they're gonna start praying right where they at, or they'll get into like a little group and they'll all
Face.
face all directions and get down and pray. So and it's just they're praying to Hasatan, but they don't know it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But it's the fact that they're diligent in trying to do this because of their faith, and but
Well,
that
it's
gets
the
into culture.
obedience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're practicing
Yeah.
obedience.
And you know that I don't know if I told you, but now in airports, when I traveled this summer, man, they have those rooms for them.
They have a specific, wow.
Yes, they have prayer rooms now
Yeah.
in
You flew
in
through
airports.
JFK?
Excuse me?
You went through JFK?
No, I went through Atlanta and then in France as well, in Paris.
Okay.
Yeah.
They tried to make a room for like a little room in my last job to give people some space for that. So it was interesting.
It's crazy. Like, it makes sense, but it's like you said, like we've said in the past, like, we tell them, like, hey, we the people of the book. This is how we follow. This is why we don't report and other things. And they look at us side eye, like, like we holding a chainsaw in our hand. But Ishmael says, hey, I gotta pray 5 times a day to this rock. They're like, oh, you should go right ahead. Would you like a AC controlled room? And we'll put some
Yeah,
rubber
they
on.
do all kinds of stuff for them. All kinds of stuff. Like we were talking, like in the store, they have their aisle. In France, they have a whole aisle in the regular supermarket that they can go and buy everything that they eat.
Straight halal.
Yeah, the halal or whatever.
Now, halal, does that mean it's like prayed over by a Muslim priest, or is it just clean food?
It's just clean food.
Uh,
They have the clean food, but maybe the meat is prayed over by a priest or whatever. But
okay.
some dishes like that they usually make with pork for the white folks. They were doing it like with chicken or with turkey. They're doing the same version but with chicken or turkey, for example.
Okay.
It just means
Yeah.
lawful. Halal
Oh,
means
Yeah.
lawful.
okay. Well, that's good to know. I mean, like I said, like there are some aspects of Ishmael that were like, man, like I wish we could get along better, but it is what it is. Like,
Hmm.
but let's see, who wants to get 14 through 25?
Guess I get it.
Okay.
Oh, you can go ahead. Who want to see? Who want to read?
All right. It's
Go
Lisa.
ahead. Go
All
ahead.
right. Exodus 19, verse 14 through 25. Can you hear me?
Yep,
Sure.
we can hear you.
Yep.
Oh, okay, okay. And Moshe went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, Be ready against the third day. Come not at your women. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the shofar exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moshe brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with Elohim, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because Yahuwah descended upon it in fire. And the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the shofar, and when the voice of the shofar sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moshe spoke, and Elohim answered him by a voice. Verse 20. And Yahuwah came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mount, and Yahuwah called Moshe up to the top of the mount, and Moshe went up. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, Go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto El Yahuwah to gaze, and many of them perish. And let the priests also, which come near to El Yahuwah, sanctify themselves, lest Yahuwah break forth upon them. And Moshe said unto El Yahuwah, The people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you charged us, saying, Set bounds about the mount and sanctify it. And Yahuwah said unto him, Away, get you down, and you shall come up, you and Aharon with you. But let not the priests and the people break through to come up unto El Yahuwah, lest he break forth upon them. So Moshe went down unto the people and spoke unto them.
There you go. So, as you see, now I tried to imagine when I was reading this earlier, when I was preparing the lesson, like what such a thing would be like to witness. Because, like, we can, like, here in Wichita, like every Monday they do the little tornado horn sound, just to test it to make sure it works. And I'm trying to imagine what it'd be like. You're at the base of Mount Sinai. You possibly, the mountain is smoking, so that means there's probably a little bit of a lava flow going. You can see that. Then there's great thunder and lightning, and then you're hearing horns that you can't even tell where necessarily what the sound is coming from where the mountain is, but you can't even see the people or the beings, the angels blowing the horn. That would be trippy. And then I can see why they'd be like, you know what? We'll just talk. We'll just deal with Moshe. Like, Moshe, you go talk to Yahuwah. He relays whatever information that is. We'll do what you say after you tell us. Because I imagine that it was amazing and exceedingly terrifying. Like, we all jump every now and then. Like, if a lightning or thunder strike hits and we're not expecting it, you'll jump. So imagine you're standing there and you're like, I hope we don't die. Because you see lava flows, possibly. The mountain is smoking. The earth is probably shaking a little bit. And then you got, the horns being blown by the angels in the heavens. I mean, that's the greatest sporting event ever witnessed.
I think
Yep.
it's awesome that the Most High even wanted to commune with the people. So, and that's different with the within the scriptures, right? When it comes to like these other deities that are being worshipped, right?
Yeah.
That he actually wants his people around him. So, it wouldn't have just been what Moshe said, you know what I'm saying? So there would have been obviously there's him and Aaron because there's two witnesses, right? But there would have been a witness of many people. But so and it's still kind of even after witnessing that and being so fearful that you're not gonna go, and we still, and I say we because these are ancestors, right? We still were disobedient even after all of that. It's amazing to me, bro.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
that is That's peculiar and stiff-necked people. If nobody has anything else to add, we'll go ahead and go to the next chapter.
I just want to add something, if it's okay.
Go right ahead.
I was looking in peculiar. So when I look at the definition, regular definition, strange, odd, unusual, particular, special, it's not really positive. So when you read peculiar, I don't know, like when you read peculiar, do you think it's like a positive or a negative word?
No, it's a negative word.
Right, it's a
Peculiar.
negative word, right? But then I
Yeah.
looked at the BLB and I look at the actual Hebrew word, and it means a valued property.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was really interesting because I'm like, but peculiar, it's not positive. But then
Yeah, you
in
got
the
to look.
scriptures, it's positive. Yeah, I just want to say that.
That's a good analysis, Cody. Because
Yeah.
that makes sense. Because yeah, like in the Western connotation of it, you're peculiar. You're not, you're not the normal kid or whatever. But like, no, you're a treasure. You're something valued that is not, you know, that is not normal. That is something to be, held onto and cultivated. So I can understand the Most High's patience with us because He understands ultimately who and what He created. It's like, all right, yeah, they're a little hard headed, but what I put in them, it'll eventually flourish. It'll just take some refining.
And this language is a horrible language.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
actually backwards
yeah,
from the Hebrew. Yeah.
yeah, because there's certain words like the word queen. Does anyone know the actual meaning of a queen?
I do not.
So, um, if I misquoted, go ahead and correct me. But the actual meaning, the genesis of the word queen, is a whore, right? And then the word nice, the word nice is a is that a French word, right, sis? Like it means stupid, right? In origin.
Well, I don't know if it's a French word, but I know it's not a good word. We
Yeah.
Right.
use it nice, like it's a good thing, but it is
It's bad.
not a good thing. Yeah,
Right.
it's come from the Latin and it means ignorant.
Yes, my bad. It's Latin ignorant.
Yeah.
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 But I mean, that
So
makes why, just like and when a guy's trying to court a woman, like in a general sense, they're like, oh yeah, I don't really like so and so. He's too nice. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that means like unaware, stupid, foolish kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the English language is basically based in it's a Germanic. It comes, but it's still a bastard language, even though it's based in the Germanic languages. It also has a whole bunch of other languages that's in it, and a lot of these root words, aside from the obvious Latin and Spanish and Greek, a lot of these words are rooted in the Germanic languages. And a lot of those words do have a different
Origin.
yeah, and it has a different meaning. And that's why they said that the English language is a cursed language, because we say so many things that we think we mean something good, but it really doesn't.
Yeah, like a spell.
Yeah. And that makes sense too, because when you think about the Germanic, the Anglo-Saxons, they were deep into the occult. They were very into spells. That's why we have
Paganism.
That's why we have all these children's stories with witches and casting spells on people and changing people into this and that, because those are old Germanic and Anglo-Saxon stories that come from way, 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 way back in their culture. You know, and we call them children's stories, but there's something, when you actually be honest, when you look at children's stories, they're downright scary.
You eating children and turn them into gingerbread. Like,
I mean, you wouldn't want to read that as a bedtime story. Those things are scary, you know. So yeah. This language that we speak is, this English language is and you know, like in, you know, the Spanish language, when you say red, this red, I mean, there's no crimson and there's no rose red, there's no you know, whatever kind of reds, different reds or blues or greens you have. Red is
you say red.
Yeah, red is just rojo, you know. Green is just verde. There's no variation. But in English, there's so many different variations of red colors, whatever have it. It's
crimson, cardinal.
That's why and then with all of that in there, that's why the English language is the hardest to learn. It's the hardest to understand, and it's the most deceptive language on earth. Because if you don't know what the fine print means, you can be deceived. It's very deceptive.
And to Ema's point, so I just looked up queen, right? So this is crazy, right? So there's two queens with the E. One is spelled Queen, one spelled Quean. Both Proto-Indo-European, right? So one means royal and one means, like I said, whore, right?
Yeah.
So why do you have
which one is the one?
Why do you think the same word? You know what I'm saying? So and the only thing that separates the two in meaning is an E and an A.
Is the one with A the one that's the royal one?
No, the E is a royal, and it says the word queen developed separately from the Old English queen, which could refer to a woman, a female serf, or in derogatory sense, a hussy or prostitute. This negative meaning became primary one for the word queen, the Quean. So,
okay.
Yeah, these, like Ema was saying, this language is jacked up there.
It says and the origin is Germanic, and it went from Germanic to Old English, and then from English to Dutch.
Which is really just German again.
Yeah, German. We actually speak a German language, you know, a form of Germanic, you know, I guess it's called
a Gaelic, is that right? I might be wrong.
It wouldn't be Gaelic. I was using that. What's that term we call? That's Pidgin German. I guess, I don't know, but it's, you know, yeah.
Well, let's move on to the next chapter and question. Is it commanded that the children will pay for the sins of their fathers? Now, I asked this question because I've been seeing, I ain't been looking for it, but for whatever reason, it's like the other nations have been telling themselves, because I've seen some speech, it was like an Elamite woman was giving us that we do not have to pay for the sins of our fathers. And I'm just thinking, y'all clearly don't read the Bible. Because what do you think we did? You don't think y'all gonna have to do it? And the Most High loved us. And we still had to pay. So it's just like, but let's go on to the answer. Who wants to get Exodus 21 through 6?
I'll go ahead and read it.
I got
20.
Okay, yeah.
I do peanut butter to see who.
21 through 6, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm reading out of the New King James Version. Okay, so okay, and he spoke all these words, saying, I am your Yahuwah, your Eluah, who brought you out of the land of Mizraim, out of the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourselves a carved image, any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah, your Eluah, am a jealous Eluah, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children of the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing mercy to those to thousands to those who love me and keep my commandments.
There you go. So again, there's a contract, terms and stipulations that the Most High has said. If you love me, keep my commandments, what? I'll protect you. You'll be mine. But if you hate me and actively, and what's one way you can hate somebody? You mistreat their children. You can say, I love you, God, but then mistreat his children. That don't make no sense. It'd be like, hey man, I love you. I love you. I love you, Amaziah, but I don't really care for I don't really care for Micaiah too much. Like that don't work like that. It don't. It's like you gotta embrace him and his people. It would make no sense. You go over somebody's house for a barbecue. You had this guy you work with, and you love hanging out with him, but yeah, you stiff arm his children. They try to come over and hug you and say hello. Like it don't work like that.
Yeah.
But if nobody has anything else to add, we'll go ahead and go to the next question. What were the other commands of the Torah given at Mount Sinai? Now, this is kind of broad, so I understand too many people who hadn't read ahead before can remember offhand. Because, like, we starting to get a little detail once we get past chapter 20. And there's more detail to go into, but today we'll stop at the end of 21. But can anybody just think offhand what the other commands of the Torah were given that were at Mount Sinai? We already kind of subconsciously know. It's just how I asked the question.
Taking Yah's name in vain, the honoring the Shabbat.
Sabbath holy. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Shall not kill, steal.
Correct.
Thy mother and thy father.
Correct.
I shall not covet.
Thou shalt not covet,
Shall
right?
not have graven image.
Do not bear false witness.
Right.
Correct. And like, what was it? The one where you shall not have a graven image. We just read that in 1 through 6 of 20. So like the other major 9, but like as we're gonna read, there's more than 10. Clearly in Torah is 5 books. It's gonna be more than 10 commandments. So, but the initial 10 that most people of other nations know, that even if they don't believe, they at least heard it, and they try to apply them. Even if they don't believe, they still try to apply them to their lives in some manner, right? So, like
Except
nobody
for the
likes
Shabbat.
Yeah, yeah. Even with their days off, even though they may be a little off or whatever, or how they conduct their days off, their day of rest, they still like to have. Everybody still like to have at least one day of rest. But who wants to get 7 through 17?
I'll go ahead and get it, man. All right. Yeah, Exodus Shemot 27 through 17. Read out the Sefer. And you shall not bring the name of Yahuwah Elohim to naught, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that brings his name to naught. Remember the day of the Shabbat to keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the 7th is the Shabbat of Yahuwah Elohim. In it you shall do any work, You, nor your son, nor your daughter, your manservant, maidservant, cattle, your stranger that is within your gates. For in 6 days you have made the heavens and the earth and the sea and all that that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahuwah blessed the day of the Shabbat and hallowed it. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which Yahuwah Elohim gives you. You shall not kill. You shall not break wedlock. Hallelujah. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. In verse 17, you shall not lust after your neighbor's house. You shall not lust after your neighbor's woman, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, ass, nor anything that is your neighbor's.
There you go. Those are the other 9 major ones that, that's in every church, no matter their denomination usually. Even though they kind of get 4 wrong in terms of the day of rest, because, they want to do book sales on their day of rest and stuff like that. But there you go. That's the
What's
first
the one
initial.
that the Catholic Church took away? Was it the Shabbat? Or they made it look like 10, but it's like they add something else in there.
I have no idea. I just know, like, in your normal average King James Bible, they say Shabbat, but most Christians are misinterpreted it as Sunday. But they still do things like buy stuff and eat abominable things on their church cookout and stuff like that, and then wonder why they got heart disease and stuff. But
They call it remembering to keep the Lord's Day.
The Lord's, yes, the Lord's Day.
Oh,
Yes.
that's what they. Okay.
I think they took the one about graven images.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Now I can't remember exactly, so don't quote me on this. I may be wrong, but I think they took the one about graven images. That one they took out, and then one they kind of split into 2.
Yep.
Getting at which ones it is. So
was the one about coveting that was your neighbors? Was that it, Ima?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at it and see. But I have read it before. But I think they took the 4th one out. I mean the one about
Shabbat.
Graven images.
I don't see graven images here. I'm looking at this I guess it's some. They get their information from what's called How to Be a Better Catholic in the Handbook of Prayers.
Yeah, they have
and,
it.
Yeah, so
catechism.
Yeah, so all you have is like number 1 is I am the Lord your God. You shall not have any strange gods before me. And you shall not take the name in vain. To remember to keep the holy the Lord's Day. Honor your father and mother. Kill, not commit adultery, steal. You should not bear false witness. 9, you should not covet your neighbor's wife. And 10, you should not covet your neighbor's goods.
Good.
Also, they split up.
Yeah, they split them up some kind of way. Yeah.
And I noticed they just completely omitted the word Shabbat, because like when you see the word Shabbat, I mean they like people, the average person who doesn't know the word Shabbat is like, okay, let's Google that. What's that mean?
Yeah.
Because they just said honor the day, and we pick the day what you're gonna honor. That's basically what they said.
So when you read that part in the New Testament talking about what Christ says, he's the master, Adonai of the Sabbath. I wonder if they like, well, what's the Sabbath?
Yeah, I know.
Right. No, because this what they moved the goalpost. Every day is the Sabbath.
Yeah.
Like, is it? That's what y'all said. And then another thing too. Speaking of the Mashiach, right? So a lot of Christians are saying, the law, obviously the law is done away with, and then we say, well, what about the 10 Commandments? And then they always go to the when Mashiach was talking to the young man who was about to bury his father. He said, hey, do you do this? Do you do this? He said, yeah, I keep all these. And so in Christianity, they're saying, see, these are the only ones that he specified, which is a very ignorant argument, right? Because there are, so that means, are you able to covet your neighbor's goods now? You know what I'm saying? So because there's specific things. So they make it seem like, oh, this is the only part of the 10 Commandments that you had to abide by, and the rest is just love. You know what I'm saying? So which is a very ignorant
Even,
argument. But
even if there's only only New Testament in Revelation, what, 14:12,
yeah,
there are those that keep the faith in Yahusha, or keep the commandments and faith in Yahusha. So
yeah, you go to John. You know what I'm saying?
I don't read Revelations.
Oh yeah, they scared of Revelation.
yeah, that like 14 chapters in, I guess that is pretty terrifying.
You got to have some level of understanding of the old. And a lot of times, I'm just keeping it a buck, right? When we was in Christianity, we really didn't get heavy enough, if you will. Did we know some things? Sure, but it ain't like what we do today. You know, we'll stay in that Tanakh for a minute, rest in it. You know what I'm saying? While we can go back and forth with the Brit Hadashah. So
when I was a little girl, I remember some of the old black preachers. They would read from Revelations, and they would read from the Old Testament a lot. And that there was some delving into the Old Testament, and actually I think that's why back in the day people had more regard for what's right and what's wrong. They didn't know that Sunday was the Sabbath, because they've been raised up in Christianity, but there was a sense of morality back then. Way back in the day, there's a strong sense of morality among our people.
I would tend to agree. I would think that, like, we talking about, like, maybe let's say like 75, maybe 80, on out. They really didn't get into the Tanakh like that.
Now,
You just didn't, but
what
before that
happened?
time, yeah.
It happened when our preachers were admitted into these seminaries. Were run by all seminaries are run by the small hat, but it wasn't until then that we saw our preachers getting away from that. But those old preachers that couldn't go to the seminary, they read,
Yeah.
and it was a lot of talk in churches when you went to church about end times, about revelations, about they may not have fully understood it, but they knew that something was going to happen, and nobody is so. I don't remember because I'm older than most people, most of y'all, all of y'all rather, but not most, but all. And as a little girl, I can remember way back when I was very little. I don't ever remember an old black preacher that I had heard when I was a little girl talk about a rapture. That's something they learned in the white seminaries.
oh yeah, because even them, because I come from the country too, so them country pastors, remember it's a fire and brimstone preacher.
Yeah.
That's what they used to call it. They used to call it fire and brimstone. Like,
and the word repent was used.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
very seldom hear a
lot.
black preacher say something about repentance, because I remember they said, "You repent, you're gonna knock the bottom out of hell." They taught living right, and stuff like that. But after going to these seminary schools that they used to not be able to attend, that's when they started going all out left. It is what it is.
This is some good history. I mean, y'all we can really back this up. There's like you said it. I mean, there's some information I can pull up from like pastors who used to talk about us being Israel. Pastors. We talking about regular, like we talking about pastors, right? Like in the late 1800s, all the way up to a certain specific period. And then but that we got away from that. So that's interesting.
I used to hear old preachers say, "We're just like the children of Israel." Now some of them may not have known it, but they may have felt it, but they would say things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
for the details of Torah. Like,
you know, sometimes I actually think that's why they decided to let these Black preachers come into their seminaries, because
they realize
they always have you know the thermometer on what we're doing, and so they, you know, I said, wait a minute, you know, some of these Black preachers are, you know, trying to teach their Israel, or saying they just like to, maybe we need to let them come in our seminary so we can, you know, steer them in another direction. You know.
yeah, what's the saying? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And so they knew. They're like, look, we can't just let these, cause like what? I'll be watching these spy podcasts about these guys who used to be in the CIA, and they're like, oh yeah, like the worst thing you could do is, you know, cut your enemy off and stop communication with them. So that's why, like, you're right. That's why they let us start going to seminary, because they was like, we we can't let these Negroes start thinking amongst themselves.
Put just the ideas in the people's heads, you know.
Yeah, everything is about social steering, y'all.
Mhm.
Still to this day, even us, we're getting socially steered. You know how like you can open up your phone, and all of a sudden it has something that you was thinking about
Mhm.
open. Like, yeah, it's all social steering. The social steering is it's the motive. You know what I mean? If you can figure that out, how to make somebody think and do something when they don't even know it. Like that's the goal. So yeah, they just got started on us back then.
All right. Who did Yasharel prefer to talk to with to talk to talk with after assembling at Mount Sinai? I kind of gave it away earlier, but I think, let's see. Let's go ahead and finish up from 18 to 26 in chapter 20. And then we'll move on to 21, and then that'll be the last one for the day.
I can read it. I have it in front of me.
Go right ahead, Ima.
I'm reading from the KJV Apocrypha, verse 18. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moshe, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not Yahuwah speak with us, lest we die. And Moshe said unto the people, Fear not, for Yahuwah is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that you sin not. And the people stood afar off, and Moshe drew near unto the thick darkness where Yahuwah was. And Yahuwah said unto Moshe, Thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, You have seen that I have talked with you from Shamayim. Ye shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall ye make unto you gods of gold. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shall sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings, and thy peace offering, thy sheep and thine oxen. In all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone. For if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon.
Okay,
I'm
gonna speak on that real quick.
Go
The
ahead.
naked, my bad, bro. Because there's a doctrine about women in pants, right? So there was no such thing. So obviously, there had to be draws made for the people to go up, because they were all wearing, like tunics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're wearing so there's
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No free balling, basically.
yeah. So all this, men don't wear this and women don't wear this, you have to look at, well, what were the people wearing back then? So this a cautionary tale about shaky
Yeah.
doctrine. Shaky doctrine is all I'm gonna say.
And then right, because we all been to a department store. There's a clear difference between women's pants and men's pants. Like,
That's right.
Right,
Yeah.
because you don't hear people saying because the high heels actually came from men, to be
yeah,
honest.
What?
The kings were wearing it,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that came from
especially in France. They were so short that they were wearing heels.
For real?
That's true. Yes, French king was so short. They were short kings, and so they were
Oh,
wearing heels.
the term Genesis there, short king.
yeah.
Yeah, guys. I mean, it's a thing, you know. Even still to this day, I think you can Google. I think most CEOs like in the world, or like the average or the U.S. or something like that, it's like 6 foot something and up. So there's some aspect of height and dominance or whatever. So it's weird. It's interesting, but
But
yeah,
how tall is what's his name? Elon. I don't think Elon's that tall. He might be like 5'6", between 5'6" and 5'8" or something. He ain't that tall.
yeah, you always gonna
Neither.
have the exception. You know what I'm saying? There was even a time where if you were white, over 6 foot, and you spoke Chinese, you spoke Mandarin, you could like go out and just get a six-figure gig if you just had those qualifications. Because you could be a figurehead for like some of these Chinese corporations.
Well, and
Uh,
also they know like the upper echelon Chinese, like, and there's you can find the mounds if you just look on Google Earth. You know, they say they're just hills, but like they're perfectly symmetrical and have steps leading to them. But those are like past emperors they've had in their dynasties over there. And they say a lot of them, the ones that they were allowed to dig up, had European features. So it makes sense because they
yeah.
secretly, because like you see it in their media, like with, if you see like in like the Korean shows, the K dramas and all that, a lot of the times their actors have more European features. They don't look more like them. Like they'll have the slanted eyes, but they'll have a jawline more like a European or a nose like a European. And whether they either find somebody that's mixed or they get from what Sharon told me, they get a lot of work done a lot of the time to look
Mm.
like. So it makes sense.
But yeah, definitely Shafir, when you brought that out, that's definitely a really good point. In 26, man, verse 26. Yeah, you can't don't go up on the steps because if you go up on the steps, they can see your nakedness. Well, what was they wearing? So that's really a good point of view.
I
Got to try to debunk bad doctrine as much as possible, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Incomplete doctrine. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm like, we've all met women that are upright, and it's like, well, she ain't drop dead, and she clearly had to wear pants to, work the garden today, or something like. Most times, not you're not seizing. You didn't send a bee to sting her or something like that.
And 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 it's not it's not one of the weightier matters of the law. For
Yeah,
number one, when Mashiach was talking about, like Amaziah and I were talking about before, that's not even one of the weightier matters of the law. And then you're misinterpreting what it's saying. It's when it's talking about the women, it's saying that it's basically saying a woman shouldn't dress like a warrior. You know what I'm saying? Wear
yeah,
a warrior's apparel. That kind of like the cartoon Mulan when she was dressed like
yeah,
a Chinese warrior. And we talk about Chinese people. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So in essence, that's what it's saying. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely telling a man not to dress like a woman. That's
yeah,
that's the difference. So
and I think verse 25 is very interesting. It always has been interesting to me. That the altars to Yahuwah, that you don't put a tool to it. That these are totally organic. Nothing. And I don't have the answer yet, but I've often wondered why that is. Now I'm still waiting for the Most High to reveal some things to me about that. I'm sure that's important. And I often think about in church, they used to say, come to the altar. Well, I don't think that was the altar. That wasn't the altar that the Most High was telling you to come to. But I think that's very interesting. Anybody have any ideas on that?
Well, I was thinking too that the reason cause like we don't know better than him, like right, like that piece of rock that you take to essentially start making this altar. If you saying you're gonna chip a piece away, saying, oh, I think it should look like this, that rock had been there for at least several millennia, and by the time you get to it, you tell them Most High you know better. Like I can see why he'd be like, no, just take it as it is. Find a way to symmetrically stack it and use it as it's supposed to be used. But it's the perfect brick, the perfect brick for what I have you intend, what I intend you to use it for. So, and it just makes it easier to do, right? Like Most High is not an author of confusion. He ain't saying okay until they get to the point where we're gonna read eventually of them building the first temple, but and even then there were supernatural beings involved in creating that thing. It wasn't just normal human hands. He's like, hey, just take this stone that's been here long before you were and use it as I say to. So
yeah, I was just looking at it when it says the second part of that. It says, for if you lift your tool up on it,
you profane it, yeah.
Polluted. I guess you have to take it just as it is. I'm just trying, I can ask questions, but it's up to the Most High.
Yeah.
It's up to him to reveal it to me. I don't know why, but I just found that to be something that caught my attention.
All right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go to the next question.
Can I ask you something?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so in 24 it says, in all places where I record my name, I will come unto you and I will bless you. And I know the Bible talks about us being a temple, so is he also referring to us? I will record my name, like on us?
I would think so, because like there's another scripture, I think
Because I
further
know the
on.
Bible. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was like, I would think so because I can't remember if it's before or after this point, but I think it's after that. He says he will write his word on our inner part, on our whole, on our heart. So that makes sense. If he's gonna write his word, that means he's likely writing his name.
Okay, because I know, in the end, like we'll be divided, the mark of the beast and then the mark of Yah. So I was wondering if this was also in reference to that, we'll have his mark on us, because it says here, right here, I'll record my name. And then, and that will obviously divide us from the others. So I was just wondering if that would also refer to us.
Because when I went through basic training, and I'm sure it's the same way for Shafir when he went through basic training, they have you mark your laundry with your specific, like usually like the last name, the first initial of your last name, and then like the last four of your social. So that's a way to mark your property. So when you would take your stuff to the laundry and they pass it back out, who's who. So that makes sense. I mean, that makes total sense. He's putting his mark upon you. So when that shofar blows and he comes to get us, there's no confusion.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. When I was reading it just now, as y'all brother had read it, it said smoke offering and your peace. This was on Mount Sinai, correct?
Yes.
Okay, because I wondered about that. So I just now I like to listen. I'm sure you guys have heard of Ron Wyatt and you've watched him, but there's a part where he shows Mount Sinai and how the mountain is black at the top because I'm assuming because of the smoke.
Yep.
When Yahuwah would ascend. But I thought about that immediately when you read ascending smoke offering in your peace offering. So I love that we're still able to see that today.
Yeah. Because for those that don't know, I put it in our chat but maybe a week or two ago. I forget what the name of the video is. Let me look it up. I'll just say it on camera or on recording for those that are looking for it, that want to watch it on YouTube. Let me see if I can find it real quick. The name of that documentary. Let me do a search. Ron. There it is. I found it. Okay, so the name of the video for those that are wanting to see this, because it's still on YouTube, remarkably. I'm surprised they ain't taking it off. It is Ron Wyatt. Ron is spelled Romeo Oscar November. Wyatt is spelled Whiskey Yankee Alpha Tango Tango. And then Ron Wyatt Discoveries, 2022. And this is all in the title of the YouTube video: Gomorrah, Red Sea Crossing, Mount Sinai, Noah's Ark, Blood of Christ. So that's the documentary. It's like, I don't know how long, like 2 hours long or something like that. But you can watch it for those that are believers, and just this is more ammo because like we are to defend the gospel. I love it when the Most High gives us banana clips, so and torpedoes and stuff. So there you go. That's just more ammunition for those that get in a debate from time to time that want to prove to the Gentiles that what is said to happen in the Bible has happened. Let's see, but let's go on to the next question. What given in Torah on how to govern men servants and maid servants? Let me just say what's given in Torah on how to govern men servants and maid servants, because there is a way to, like, you just because you have a servant doesn't mean you treat them any old kind of way. It's kind of interesting that.
No.
Yeah, a
Go ahead.
servant is not a slave.
Yeah, it's a family member.
Is it that
it could be considered. They could be
they
considered.
follow the Shabbat too and things like that?
Yes, yeah, like like you said, they're a part of the family. They're not tools. They're people.
Right, and then there's even part of the law, like I know we're not into that part yet, but like if after they do their because they have a time period, it's not forever, unless they choose to be there forever. So it's
We're gonna
6 years.
we're gonna read that right now. Who wants to get 1 through 11?
My bad.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I can read it.
Go right ahead, Akuri.
All right, so Shemot, Exodus 21, I read out of the Sefer 1 to 11. Now, these are the judgments which you shall set before them. If you obtain an Ibriym servant 6 years, he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his woman shall go out with him. If his Adonai have given him a woman, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the woman and her children shall be her Adonai's, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my Adonai, my woman, and my children, I will not go out free, then his Adonai shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door or unto the doorpost, and his Adonai shall pierce his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. And if a man surrenders his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the maidservants do. If she please not her Adoni, who has betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To surrender her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he has dealt deceitfully with her. And if he has betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. If he takes him another woman, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. And if he does not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money.
There you go. So for the man, it's 6 hours, not 6 hours, 6 years of work, and if he ends up being by himself that whole time, he can walk free. Now imagine, right? Imagine if during our chattel slavery here in America, like the punishment for Esau probably wouldn't be that bad if they were just following that. Because like they knew who we were from the time that Columbus got here. They knew who the natives were that were here and who they sent over in ships from West Africa. They knew we were Ibriym. And if they'd have just even in our slavery, our captivity, then if they'd have just followed those simple instructions, they wouldn't, be suffering the consequences that they are now. But we know, according to history, they helped forward the affliction and they got to pay for it. But it's interesting that even in our rulership, which is coming up, for those that don't know, there are of the other nations, if you haven't cleaved yet, we highly suggest you do so. That our governance of our servants and maidservants is righteous. It's like there's like, just because you're in charge does not mean you get to mistreat people. and there is a punishment for that for us if we were to do so. So the Most High keeps everything in check and in balance. That's very interesting to see. And now I was just looking while you were reading what an awl was. Basically, just a piece of jewelry that you pierce in your ear like an earring. It can be fancy or simplified. Some have stones, some don't. Some are just metal or gold or silver. But that's what an awl is for those that were wondering. Anybody else got any? Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Reflect back on what we already went through in Genesis with Yaakov and Laban.
Yeah.
So remember, there was a part in the verse where he was saying, where he called Yaakov's sons his, and I was like, why is he calling? But I forgot about this. I didn't even consider this verse right here in Exodus because Yahuwah's saying that. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't wrong in saying like, yeah, my daughters and my son, like my children, like, because those technically there's no technicality to it. It is what it is. But he was also acting deceitfully too. So
yeah.
So
and then also when not Isaac, was it Isaac? No, it was when Yaakov went to work for him. It was like agreed upon thing. It wasn't like based off of like any debt that he owed. It was like, okay, I'm going to work to obtain this bride, and that's the difference. Like here, like basically these maid servants and men servants they owe something. So in order to pay that debt off, he was working to obtain something. That was the difference too. So that's why he probably looked at him side eye like, Negro, these ain't your kids. These are my kids.
But he treated him like a servant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's wild.
Well, yeah, because he knew that he agreed to give his daughter and he was in love, right? And let's be honest, a man will do all kinds of stuff to get the woman that he loves.
True.
And we got to these were your Hebrew servants, not every nation, because remember here it says if that you want if the master could not sell a female to another nation.
Right.
So she was most likely Hebrew. Laban was Hebrew. He wasn't an Israelite, but he was Hebrew.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Because there was no such thing as Israelites yet. So you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Interesting. This is why they kept this out of the slave Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they jumping the chapter.
Yeah. They
Oh, for
triple
sure.
jump too. Like we're gonna take 3 steps.
He said they triple jump. Jesse Owens in his bad boy.
What were the consequences for murder and forced slavery / kidnapping? Because that we're gonna read about that. Anybody have an idea? I mean, I'm pretty sure you probably do, just from
Right. Yeah.
Death?
Yep, correct. Let's see. I don't think I've read yet, so let me go ahead and get this. Where we at? 12 through 17. All right, on 21. I'm reading from the Sefer. He that smites a man so that he dies shall be surely put to death. There you go. And if a man lies not in wait, but Elohim deliver him into his hand, then I will appoint you a place whither he shall flee. But if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile, you shall take him from my altar that he may die. And he that smites his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. And he that steals a man and sells him, or if he be found in his hand, shall surely be put to death. So you can't even do a basic kidnapping. Like you're not even gonna necessarily, send them somewhere else. Like you take somebody by force. Kidnapping is supposed to be put to death. And like here in the modern day, we know you can be charged with kidnapping and you'll do some time, but they don't necessarily put you to death. So that's gonna change when we take over. So you can't even, and it won't be nobody missing on the milk cartons when it's our turn. Let's see. And he that curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. So again, honor thy father and thy mother. It's interesting that the Most High is, re-emphasizing this. That if you curse your father and your mother, you won't, be long on this earth. But that's it for 17.
Do you think we can juxtapose verse 14 with the verse that was saying, if you have a ought with your brother, leave your gift at the altar? Because remember, Mashiach was talking about he wasn't just talking about like if you're angry with your brother, right? So that the anger starts inside. So this is obviously talking about it's talking about, but if a man acts this new KJV, right? Premeditation. So premeditation starts in the mind, right?
Yep.
Against his neighbor to kill him by treachery, you shall take him from my altar that he may die. Is that a stretch, or is that can we juxtapose that in any way?
I mean, it sounds like there would have to kind of be maybe a kind of like a second witness to know the heart, maybe or maybe that individual, and he's talking to a Levite priest, and that Levite priest is in tune with the will of the Most High, and because we have certain instances where like a prophet will come and be like, "Hey, you shouldn't be doing this," and then they'll tell them the truth, but as the words of Mashiach say, a prophet is rarely welcomed in his hometown. And so they might ignore it and try to, get away with whatever their scheme is. That might be the case. I'm trying to think how they would know. I would guess maybe in a certain situation you would probably hear rumors around town about certain things. About like if you knew a person was having an ought with, somebody in your tribe, and then they try to come up to the altar to give a sacrifice, but you're like you kind of have a feeling that person's heart's not right. They're not in it at that moment, so you take them away. And I would guess to put them to death means, well, actually put them to death, but I'm talking about like to get to the point of having to yank them away from the altar when they're trying to give a sacrifice and their heart's not right, means that the steps that we have, you consult whatever your Aki, your Akodi in private for whatever you might have. Then if that don't work, you confront them with a group, and then if that don't work, you confront them with the more entirety of the tribe. And then at that point, if that still doesn't work, then I think that's when this step would come up, where you just straight put them to death, because it's clear that whatever that issue was cannot be settled, but they're trying to, circumvent, they're trying to hold on to a grudge and then try to please Yahuwah at the same time. Yahuwah's not having it. So I would guess it would be after that, those steps have been taken. That's the only way that somebody would know to immediately put somebody to death, because you tried to hash out whatever issue before it got to that point, and for whatever reason, it just couldn't be resolved.
Can I put my 2 cents on it?
Go right ahead.
Sure.
Oh, I just felt like it's a little bit different, right? Because if I recall correctly, or let me go there, Matthew 5, it's if you bring your gift to the altar and then remember that your brother has a ought against you. That means you go to the altar, but then you're like, oh, this brother actually has an ought against me, right? Then leave your gift and reconcile with your brother.
Okay.
Right, but Matthew 18 is what you said, Ori. Matthew 18 is that if your brother transgressed against you, then you address it with him one-on-one. Then you bring a witness. If it doesn't work, then you bring. So if I see it correctly, and please tell me if you don't agree, no problem, is that in Matthew 5, it's more that you remember that somebody has a ought with you, with yourself. But then in 18, it's you who has the ought with the person. You see what I mean? Or
Yeah. So okay. So that makes sense, because that does make sense, because he's going to give 2 instances for whether it's your fault that the ought is the thing, or if it's another person. So that makes sense. So Matthew 5, I would say in that instance would apply. And the situation I gave was for Matthew 18, if that you transgressed against somebody, like somebody has a problem with you, like even though you might not have necessarily knowingly or tried to do anything, to a brother or a sister, that you should want to hash it out to not let it fester. So that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, because like what Sis was saying, if you know your brother has an ought against you, that means that you offended him in some kind of way. So that's all I was looking at. I appreciate it. We all trying to walk this out. I was just looking at, but if a man has acts with premeditation against his neighbor, so that means that man has he's done something to his neighbor. So that's what I was looking at, and that's why I was asking, because I didn't know if it was a stretch or if anybody else saw that. So I appreciate it.
Hey, go ahead.
And how many Israelites do we see transgressing this right here today? How many of them say, "Keep your name out of my mouth"? I mean, keep my name out of your mouth. I mean, just not offending and being offended, and never coming to work together to work it out. And that's one of the things that I see is the problem with those of us who are quote unquote awaken to who we are is that those who are not maybe looking in and they see that, that's a bad witness.
Yeah.
When they see and they're trying to tell others who, other Israelites who don't know they're Israelites, who they are, and they need to keep the commandments. But the scripture clearly says that they will know you by the love you have one for another. But I don't see that. I don't see that all the time.
Nah.
And and it's really it really makes us. That's what makes us look bad. Is that right there? And what I'm talking about, and I'm not even talking about the ones on the corner yelling at people like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about those of us who are just trying to, have our little YouTube channels and all that kind of stuff. And then you get into these arguments with other, and I mean, it's out and out, war.
It gets into these ad hominem attacks, and then the favorite line is when especially with the men, when they feel a challenge, they're always gonna call another man effeminate.
Yes.
And even saying that is effeminate, because that's what women do to their like the modern women in out here in the world, right? This is what they do to their men when they want to insult them. They either talk about their manhood or what they call them gay.
That's it. Yeah. That's
So
the new one too.
even you saying that, you sound like a worldly woman saying that to another brute. You know what I'm saying?
Right, they
Am I
even call
wrong? Am
them
I
a
missing?
B word. Women call a man a B word. That's what they do.
Yep.
Like, that's terrible.
Yep. Complete lack of respect all the way around. And then profess to know the word. And they do know this word. I mean, they could read it frontwards and backwards. And I'm not, like you said, just not the brothers on the streets, but like most in the communities, right? But I mean, we can all, like, most of us have reading comprehension skills. So, and a lot of these brothers have very good uh memories to lock down these scriptures and remember this verse. But what is it for? Is it for the glory of Yah? No, because I'm paying attention. A lot of this has not. A lot of what we see within Yasharel right now, where there's so much conflict, has nothing to do with Yah. It's all flesh. It's all we the people, we the people, we the people. At some point, the message needs to turn into repent and turn from your sins. But that's just me.
And instead of arguing and fussing and fighting with each other and putting each other down and trying to throw shade on each other, they need to be coming together and ashing these things out, because nobody knows everything and nobody has all the answers. And that's that's just pride creeping in.
I agree. I'm okay with us having our differences here and there, but that don't necessarily mean y'all like gotta hate you. Like that literally does not make sense.
Especially we know, like, it's 17-on-1. So why would you like alienate, somebody in your own nation and try to, snug up? Because like we know the other 17 nations hate us. I mean, we have strangers that'll cleave, but for the most part, the majority it's on like Donkey Kong. And if they could get us, they would.
And even look at the Mashiach, right? So during the time of his crucifixion, where were his disciples at? Right? So if anyone should have been feeling any type of way and rebuking anybody, it should have been the Mashiach, right? But no, he had mercy and he had grace for the brothers who were with him and walking his walk with them, and then walking all the way through. But he understood, right? There's a level of understanding. and wisdom, right? So you're saying that you want to be Christ-like or like the Mashiach. Well, that's what the Mashiach did. You know what I'm saying? The one that he called the rock, Kepha, right? Denied even knowing him, right? I mean, he redeemed himself, obviously, but
Yeah,
this
at
was
that
like
moment, yeah.
this was his strongest ally. This is his this was his guy. You know, this is his capo, so to speak. Just imagine your capo. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? It's wild. So the Mashiach is showing you how to do it, but you're so puffed up with knowledge and pride, you
And
can't even say it's
and
crazy.
and you know, pride, the flip side of pride is low self-esteem. You found something to be proud about. And if something gets in the way of you feeling proud about something, about, you know, and you still have that feeling of inadequacy in some kind of way. Anytime somebody says something contrary to what you say or don't agree with you, it's gonna kick in, and you're gonna defend yourself, um, you know, because you don't want to feel like you're wrong. And that's insecurity. So I think a lot of, you know, and I can understand. I'm not trying to be uh judgmental, but I see it as a type. We, you know, we as a people we're quick to jump prideful about anything. Anything. I don't care whether it's out in the world, even in this awakening. And I think it's because we as a people have been so downtrodden for so long. Anything that we can find that make ourselves feel better and to prop us up in the eyes of other people, so that we start to feel prideful. I see it so much, you know, and it's something that we have to deal with. That's the main thing with most with our Christian brothers and sisters. They don't, you know, it's sometimes it's not that they don't see it. It's that they pride. Their pride. That means that their pride is hurt. And if your pride is hurt, that means you have some type of insecurity. That's why the Most High says that pride is not made for a man born of a woman. We are not to have any kind of pride in us, because we're going to feed it no matter what. No matter what, you know, we're going to do things to feed that pride. We're gonna mess up relationships, our relationships with whoever it happens to be, family members, wife, friends, because we have to maintain our sense of pride. And that is a weakness. Pride is a weakness in men. So, I mean, it's just, I think as a whole, I think that's our biggest problem. And I'm talking about all of us, is pride. Everybody wants to be proud. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of myself. Let's be proud. And so I've gotten to the place where I don't even say I'm proud of my children or my grandchildren. I always say I'm pleased with what they're doing. I'm pleased. But pride, I don't even want to use that word, because it's pride can get ugly. Very, very ugly.
Because it's I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, especially with people who have been downtrodden, not had anything. And because I've known people who didn't have you know what to go in and to throw it out the window, but they finally got something, and Man, you can't tell them anything.
Like Kanye, now,
That's
tell me.
real.
Yeah.
Look at my new shiny thing.
But I
I
think
look at it like
I
a
think
cousin
that's
of
Yahshua's
self-righteousness,
biggest
right?
problem. Huh?
What do you think? What do you think about that, Ima? Do you think that's like akin to self-righteousness? Pride, it's like the cousin of self-righteousness, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's like
Twin.
I did this and I did that, and what is, even even with the looks. I mean, some of our people will talk about how a person looks, or how they wear their hair, what clothes they wear. That's a sense, that's the little thing they can do to make themselves feel, like they somebody.
Yeah.
So,
That's really over here on the West too. Like these brews out on the West, we really popularized that idea of having of like, it's almost as if you have something on you, these materialistic things that are on you give you value. And that's why I like some of these other little islands where our people are, where they they could have on just a t-shirt, some shorts, they playing some soccer, and don't nobody care about how you look. You know what I'm saying? Some
Yeah.
cat might have a jersey on over here, old outdated jersey. Don't nobody care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're just having a good time. So
I
yeah.
think that's Yasharim's biggest problem. I really do, and it's kind of like on the, we need, it's something that's psychological, but it's also spiritual.
True. Real true.
Yeah. That's very good discussion. Let's go ahead and get to the last question. How are we, I meant to put, to handle the abuse and or neglect of servants and livestock? If that's the answer, I'm gonna go ahead and do this.
I can read it if nobody has it. I have it in front of me.
Go right ahead.
Okay. Verse 12. He that smiteth a man so that he shall die. Wait a minute, is that it? What verse does that start with?
18.
18. Oh, okay. I thought we had read that. Okay, verse 18. And if men strive together, and one smite another with a stone or with his fist, and he die not, but keepeth his bed, if he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. Verse 20. And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. Verse 22. If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished, according as the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. Verse 26. And if a man smite the eye of his servant or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. And if he smite out his manservant's tooth, or his maidservant's tooth, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake. Verse 28. If an ox gore a man or a woman that they die, then the ox shall be surely stoned, and its flesh shall not be eaten. But the owner of the ox shall be quit. But if the ox were wont to push with his horn in time past, and it hath been testified to his owner, and he hath not kept him in, but that he hath killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and its owner also shall be put to death. If there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him. Whatever he have gored, whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter, according to this judgment shall it be done unto him. If the ox shall push a manservant or a maidservant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit, and not cover it, and an ox or an ass fall therein, the owner of the pit shall make it good, and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. Verse 35. And if one man's ox hurt another's, that he die, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money of it. And the dead ox also they shall divide. Verse 36. Or if it be known that the ox had used to push in time past, and his owner hath not kept him in, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own.
There you go. So that's how you handle disputes among your servants and your livestock. A lot of this makes sense. Some stuff it makes sense to where like in the modern day, if you don't keep your pit bull in and they attack somebody, you can be convicted for it because it was negligence. You knew how dangerous the animal could be, and then it ends up mauling or goring somebody, and could cause a grave injury or death. Now, in the modern day, typically, if somebody had a pit bull that gets out and hurts somebody, they usually not going to be put to death for it even if it was found to be negligent. Because we've all had stories where you got these racist Edomites, and they'll intentionally leave their little Rottweiler or something out to harass people as they walk by. And even if they're found, convicted of negligence of letting the animal out, they usually don't get put to death. But we see there's a little bit more stringency of don't allow that to happen with our laws. But hopefully when we take up our reign again, that won't be necessary. But hey, we now have a precedent in case we didn't know it.
Yeah, this place definitely was it's a Christian nation, ain't it?
Yeah,
This nation definitely believes in the Bible, doesn't it? Well, I tell you, you just
like
read
no
this
part
all
of
through. None.
Oh shoot! Because it's talking about falling in the pit. I could have sworn Mashiach was talking about, hey, what man would let his ox fall in the pit? You talk some of these folks don't even know that Mashiach is all the way in the Torah, just talking Torah to our people like the entire time. Like, so I don't know. I don't get it, man.
Like, so this will end part of the triple jump that they start in the guide that we're following. I'll pick it back up next Shabbat. Was it 22 through 24? And we'll continue on now. Like I said, whoever's after me, if you need some help because they skipped 8 chapters, You know, I'm here to lend a helping hand.
That's
But
all you next time, brother. Remember, you got it this one and next week. What you
is that
laughing for?
skip 8 chapters? I guess I do. It's like 8 chapters. I guess we'll try. We'll probably.
I was joking with you, but yeah, you do got it though. But yeah,
He said, "Yeah,
I'll read it.
but you got it."
The 8 chapters they skip.
you're just gonna try
See
to
how long.
laugh through it.
Yeah, you know. So that is today's lesson. Let's go. I'm gonna go ahead and read out the closing. There we go. Here we go. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Elohim and guard his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For Elohim shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. That is Ecclesiastes 12, 13 through 14. And here are they. Here is the patience of the Kodashim. Here are they that guard the commandments of Yahuwah and the belief of Yahusha. That is Revelation 14:12. You know, tying the Old to the New Testament, as we've said many times before, that you can't have the commandments without Mashiach, and you can't have Mashiach without the commandments. But I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson, and shalom, shalom, shalom.